quickly cut across to Salim Merchant. He, in fact, a musician himself. Mr. Merchant, here, very, very sad day. We're seeing Sidhu Moose Wala's final journey. In fact, he was shot dead in Mansa, Punjab. He's now the mortal remains are being carried out for the final rites, where we see an ocean of fans and supporters who've landed up. So we know that his music really managed to galvanize a youth following of this magnitude that we see today. We're certainly surprised and also heartbroken to know that this man, barely at 29, has to lose his life at the hands of gangsters in Punjab. Your view and your last memories of Moose Wala?
Well, I'm more than saddened and broken. I'm just traumatized. You know, the kind of, I just found out that he had 25 bullets in him, towards just how he was assassinated was really, really sad. But I'll tell you one thing, that Sidhu was, he's a global superstar. And, today he's not with us, but his music, his soul, his voice will always be with us. In such little time, he gathered so much of love from his fans and from so many listeners. And I've worked with him on a song. I can tell you one thing, that he's an amazing human being, apart from him being a great artist. It's such a wonderful human being. And we worked on a song together in October last year, which was about to release in June. We delayed it because he was obviously standing for elections in Punjab, and we had to delay it. And I cannot tell you how broken I feel that the song that we were about to release with him, is now going to be releasing without him being in this world. It's really, really a very sad moment for us and for the entire music fraternity. For people who worked with him know how incredible he is. But for people who haven't worked with him, in the fraternity, I can say one thing, that he was a genuine artist. And there's no doubt about that, he because in such little time, he had so many incredible fans, listeners, stars, following him, collaborating with him. That just proves how much he was loved.
Right. You spoke about the last song that you were due to release with him. Can you give us an understanding on what that song is all about? You've mentioned this.
Well, it's a love song. It's a sad love song, and it features Afsana Khan, who he considered his sister. And it was through Afsana Khan that I met Sidhu, who's a fabulous singer as well. Like Afsana and Sidhu have collaborated a number of times. And Afsana really wanted me to meet him because, he's such a great artist, and she thought that this would be a great combination. So we worked on the song in October, and I worked through it. It was all set to release, and now we have to, I guess, release it without him, which is really, really sad.
Salim, we know that you shot for this song. Well, you moved to Chandigarh briefly just to shoot for this entire song. At that point, did you see the kind of reception and the fan following that Sidhu Moose Wala boasts of? Now we see this. Today, as part of his final rites, we see an ocean of supporters who've come down to get one look of him. But did you get a sense of the kind of clout he holds and how he was worshipped in his hometown and the areas around?
Oh yeah, of course. Most definitely he was loved like beyond, and he had so many fans and followers who were all the time following him, and they knew about his whereabouts, they knew where he was going to be. But in spite of all that, he was so grounded and so respectful and humble, and really a beautiful soul. A lot of artists, it gets to them sometimes, and we all human beings have that thing of, the fame and, stuff getting into the heads. But Sidhu was not that guy.
Mm. When you say he was so humble, such a gem of a person, could you quote some instances for us, Salim? We'd really like to know what Sidhu Moose Wala really was as a person inside out.
He was, that he was, he's dabbled with singing, he's done so much, and he's sung so many different types of songs in such little time. The song that I took with me for him to sing, he heard that song, and he could have sung it, but he said I'm nervous, and I don't, I need to prepare, and please, if you give me a little time, I'll prepare it, and I'll do it really well. And actually, he could have, but because he's so humble and he was so respectful, he felt like maybe he should spend some time with the composition, with the tune, and then approach it. So that itself, and then he said that I have another song which I think we should do it together, and he sort of shared some lyrics with me, and then I kind of started singing a little bit, and he joined in, and then he responded. So his way of working was very, very organic, and his music was like his words and his music was prime for himself and for his respect, and nothing went to his head. His success and all that was a different story. He in the studio was like a student, and he worked and he listened and he sang just like a music student, and that I felt was very enduring for me to see.
Right. Salim, at this point, we know that Sidhu Moose Wala, at such a young age, at 29, he also decided to venture into politics. I'm sure you may not have an idea of his intentions, but would you know if that in any way distracted Sidhu Moose Wala? Because you wanted to release your music album or that video a little earlier on, but Moose Wala, we understand, got busy with his elections and he was contesting from one of the seats, and then that got delayed. So did he have conversations with you about his larger vision of what he wanted to do while assuming a political role in his life?
I never got to speak to him regarding his his wish to step into politics. But obviously, the kind of fan following and the respect that he had in Mansa village and all over Punjab, I mean, for that matter, the entire world, it was something that, was his calling, and he felt like maybe this was where he should also, kind of dabble into. And I think that was his decision. I never actually got to speak to him about the fact that he's entering into politics and, all that. But as soon as the elections were over, he was back onto music, and he was, he had all his pending commitments in terms of recordings and concerts and shows, and he was back into the scene. And in fact, it's so unfortunate, some of my band members and crew were supposed to join him on a tour, and they're in Canada, and in fact their visa applications have just been approved. And they were also, this is really traumatic and unfortunate for all of us. I mean, some of my band guys were traveling with him, and they've rehearsed with him for his upcoming tours in the United States and Canada and the UK. And, you can imagine what we are all going through.
Salim, as from what we see, Sidhu Moose Wala his death has been condoled by artists internationally. Across the globe, you have international artists who have been pouring in their condolences, and that shows the kind of, how his music resonated with an international audience. Would you like to touch upon that, on Sidhu Moose Wala being endorsed enormously across the globe from various international artists wanting to work with him at this point?
I really feel that this is something he always wanted, he deserved, and it's a great thing for India. I mean, he really brought the Indian music scene, especially the independent Indian music scene, onto the map, to the world map. I mean, the artists like Drake and stuff, like following him and collaborating with him, was not a small thing. And not just Drake. I mean, there's so many other artists. From the UK hip-hop scene who wanted to collaborate with him, who already worked with him on so many things, on so many projects. And there's a lot of music that is still unreleased, and there is so much stuff that is yet to come. So it's all going to be pretty phenomenal and amazing, once all this music comes out. It's just really unfortunate that we've lost a global superstar, a beautiful human being at such a small age.
Salim, we still would like to know a little bit about that music video you shot with Moose Wala. What's it all about? A slight glimpse, when is it going to release? With the death of Moose Wala now, what kind of tribute would you like to pay to him?
The 2nd of June, but I'm obviously going to be very sensitive about the time and of what's happened. And, we are internally just thinking of, just dropping the poster probably next week sometime. And that too, I'm not even thinking about the song at the moment because I'm still, watching.
No, but for us, this possibly could be the last memory. So, fans, of course, are going to be embracing it wholeheartedly. So, give us a description.
The title is something like that. You will see it. I mean, the world will see it in the next 96 hours or something. I'll just release the poster. But definitely the song is a tribute to him. And we are changing a lot of things in the song because obviously it's going to be a tribute for him, for his family, for his fans.
Salim, finally, we've heard from musicians extensively, AP Dillon as well, shedding light on how there's this real underbelly that could be worrying several Punjabi artists who are not just living in Punjab but also living globally. They speak of this kind of culture that seems to be quite a threat for them, and they don't know how to deal with it. Have you, per se, as a musician, come across any kind of threat as such? All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to Hansraj Hans, who's also a singer and a BJP leader, joining us on the phone line. Mr. Hans, Moose Wala's last rites. We are looking at an ocean of fans who've just landed up, wanting to take a quick last glimpse of Moose Wala. Very heartbreaking to see the family going through, witnessing such a day at such a young age of 29. Moose Wala has been brutally killed because of gang rivalry, as per the police information. Here today is his final journey. Your last memories of him?
Parents and all his fans. It's really shame on system as well.